Dear student, I am teacher Mukesh Kumar. Now we will start chapter 1 of second year English, 20 minutes with Mrs. Ockendam by Frank Arthur. So let's start with the chapter 1. But before starting chapter 1, please open your textbook of intermediate, page number 1. So we are going to discuss text also, the important point from the textbook. It will help you to understand the chapter in detail, and we will discuss the word meaning and important point and question answer of the chapters in detail. So please open your textbook, chapter number 1, 20 minutes with Mrs. Ockendam, page number 1. Before starting chapter number 1, just look at the board. 20 minutes with Mrs. Ockendam is written by Frank Arthur. Frank Arthur was the civil servant, novelist, playwright and historian. He was born in London in 1902 and he was a famous writer. He settled all his crime novel like the melodrama related to suspense, all settled in Fiji Island or New Zealand. So let's start with the textbook. Frank Arthur, a civil servant, novelist and playwright, was born in London in 1902. His first publication was Who Killed Netamol. Now I have written he was born in London in 1902 and his first publication, Who Killed Netamol. It's a suspense kind of story, a crime. All these novels settled in the Fiji Island, New Zealand, and Frank Arthur has written mostly suspense, crime and punishment theme kind of novel. So later published by Penguin Book as a Soa Harbor Mystery. His play include another famous play, Time's Thief, She Would Not Dance, and later on 20 minutes with Mrs. Ockendam is an effective little piece of melodrama notable for its skillful manipulation of suspense. Now 20 minutes with Mrs. Ockendam is a melodrama. Melodrama means the thrilling incident with suspense that we call melodrama. Tension build and rise in melodrama. So actually this kind of melodrama you will enthusiastic to read what kind of suspense is there in the novel. So and that kind of story, let's see. So audience is kept in suspense for answer to the question number 1. Will he find out who Mrs. Ockendam is? Number 1 point of suspense in the story. Will he find out who Mrs. Ockendam is? Number 2, will he kill her? 2 point. Author has kept these 2 points in suspense. Now let's start with the characters. Number 1 he, number 2 she, number 3 porter. पोर्टर को हम जैसे कुली कहते हैं जो रेलवे स्टेशन पे लोगों के सामान वगैरह लेके जाते हैं. सो देयर आर 3 मैन कैरेक्टर्स. नेम इज नॉट मेंशन. ही, शी एंड पोर्टर. सीन रेलवे स्टेशन. टाइम स्टॉर्मी विंटर्स इवनिंग, मतलब बारिश हो रही होती है और शाम का वक्त होता है. व्हेन द स्टोरी स्टार्ट्स. नाउ जैसे मैंने आपको बताया ये मेलोड्रामा है, इसमें सस्पेंस है. राइटर ने ये 2 पॉइंट हमें सस्पेंस रखा है. नाउ स्टोरी किस तरह स्टार्ट होती है? बिफोर स्टार्टिंग स्टोरी आई वांट टू टेल यू, जस्ट लुक एट द बुक नाउ. The waiting room of a small railway junction, a gas fire at a side wall, a gas light above a chair beside the fire, a bench against the back wall and table. The room is empty, gas light is turned low, almost in darkness. Rain and wind are audible outside. Now story start outside, rain and wind are audible. Now I told you scene is railway station. Railway station means where people are waiting for the train. Door open and lady comes in carrying a suitcase which is a tie on label. Now story start, lady comes in a waiting room. Lady is carrying a suitcase and she is heavily wrapped up because the rain outside. So story start here. Is carrying a suitcase and later on. Now Porter said, well, that throw light up situation and I'll light the fire for you so that you can warm your 2 stees. Now 2 stees means stove or foot because it was a winter evening, so warm or like a fire is needed to warm up your body. So Porter is a person who is offering service of help. He said to she that I can fire for you and so you can warm your 2 stees. So these kind of thing happen in a melodrama. Now it's a suspense. First lady comes in. Now let's see. Let's turn the page. Page number 2. The lady take off her gloves and spread her hand to the fire. Now a man comes in briskly. Briskly means actively, energetic way. He comes in an energetic way. First lady comes in, then man comes in. Now the story starts. Now let's see. He is wearing a trench coat. Now what is trench coat? Trench coat like waterproof kind of coat till knees. People used in First and Second World War, and it's waterproof, like people can use outside in order to avoid waters and like the rainy situation or any kind of weather, they can use like this kind of jacket. So he's wearing a trench coat, a terribly hat, both weight and carries a large suitcase. A man is also carrying a large suitcase, like case with a handle and hanged lid that we grasp. So man is carrying a suitcase, ladies also there, she and he. Now both are in a waiting room, they are waiting for a train. Now the story starts, she and he. They both are in a waiting room, they are waiting for the train, and the story starts. Let's move further. The lady is meanwhile taking off her hat and scarf, place them on the table, open her coat, her hair is mouse brown. Now see, we can say that mousy brown hair or the blonde, it's a color, the first is a yellowish color, then it's a brunette, naturally brunette called. So mouse brown hair, and she is a kind of rich kind of lady, perhaps a wife of a prosperous businessman. And he's looking like a killer kind of person, and like a killer scorpion, and not a rich person. So both have different characters. And the man has taken off his coat, shaken it, thrown down on the bench. Now see what happened. Another important word I am telling you, he is clean shaven and a first exhibit a rather a flamboyant air. Flamboyant air means confident in behavior. The person is very confident in his behavior, and lady is nervous and shy. So till I have read, both he and she, they are waiting in a waiting room, they are waiting for a train, and a stormy evening is there, winter's evening is there, and there is rain outside falling. So they both are waiting for the train. Now the conversation starts between he and she. Now he said, so we have exactly 20 minutes to wait. Now it's written here, 20 minutes with Mrs. Okenda means, now he said that we have to wait till 20 minutes when the train comes. Now later on, she, so we may as well, we have 20 minutes. She, the situation is not, station is not used very much, only for the changing the loop line to the stand top. Now, because that station was not used very much, loop line means when you disconnect from the main line and join it later. So that station was not very used very much, people suddenly used. So they were going to Stanthorpe. Now she's native town Stanthorpe. So she was going to Stanthorpe, and he was also there. Now why he was there, let's discuss. Now open the page number 3. Now she said, I live at Stanthorpe, so I know this wedding room quite well. He, you live there, do you know Mrs. Judy Okenda? Now he's asking something from she. Now the conversation start. First question he asked from she, do you know Mrs. Judy Okenda? Now she said she lives at Stanthorpe. She is very sharp lady. Doesn't mention the name and whatsoever. She says, yes, I know she lives at Stanthorpe. He, what's she like? She, you mean appearance or character? He, I know all about her character. He wanted to know about his appearance. Now that is very important paragraph I am going to read, just note it down. She is fairly ordinary, you know nothing very remarkable about her. Short rather than tall, about 5'3". Weighed a little under 8 stone. Now 5'3", medium height, laid under at stone. Now she was laid under 8 stone means weight under 8 stone. We can say approximately 112 pound or 50 point something kg, approximately 50 to 51 kg weight, 112 pound. So we can call it under 8 stone, and no special distinguishing marks. Now that is the character appearance of Mrs. Okentum, because he is asking from she about Mrs. Okentum about the physical appearance. So he said that 5'3", weight little under 8 stone, and all this thing that he has mentioned. I saw a photograph of her once in a newspaper. It was, well, a newspaper photograph. You couldn't tell whether she was dark or fair, but I was told she was banana blonde. Now the brunette kind of lady. So because he said that I saw only a photograph in the newspaper. Now in newspaper you cannot guess either color is dark or fair. So he was not sure. That's why he's saying that, as I was told that's a banana blonde and I saw only a photograph of her in a newspaper. So she was once. But blonde hair doesn't stay blonde forever. Like Chinese people, they have blue eyes and blonde hairs. So it doesn't mean that it stay blonde forever. So she is saying that it doesn't stay forever. Now he, pretty, means you're very sharp. Now the story start again. Now he told about the physical appearance of Mrs. Okentum. Story start when they were going to Stanthorpe in a train. They started conversation with one another. He asked about the appearance of Mrs. Okentum, and he told it in a detail that she is like under 8 stone and clear about the physical appearance, about the hair and banana blonde, all these things. Now page number 4, please open it. Now I'm going to very important point. I'm going to read important point, just note it down. Yes, you and I are here alone for 20 minutes. Now we have never met before and we shall very likely never see each other again. I often think about these chances and casual meeting than we have with the people, thousands of them in the course of lifetime. People we pass in the street and behind in a bus we sit next to the theater as soon they are living their own life then just forgone. So your life touches another life for a minute, for an hour, then it's swing apart you go, I go mine. So now writer want to tell you one important thing. These brief and casual meetings sometime may alter your life, sometime may change your life. Now what happened with the he? He wanted to tell she about the experience, personal experience, what happened to he. He said that 2 half-minute meeting has changed my life. One casual meeting has changed my life completely. Now he is going to explain an incident that occurred. Now I'll tell you in my second lecture what happened with the he, what kind of incident occurred in 1953. He is going to share with she. Now we will discuss in my second lecture. Thank you for listening.